Hi, in this video I'll be showing you how to play the next two songs from your book. So at this point you got through space tracking and I think you're still working on money, that's what I want. So continue with both of those, but we're going to add two new ones today. One of them being Hava, Nagila, and then the other one's Super Freak. So they're both fun songs to play. So what we're going to do first is we'll talk about eighth rests. So you already know that there's notes and then rests. The notes are when we're playing and the rest are the silence, right? So duration of the sound or the silence depends on what kind of note it is. So you already know the whole notes, the half, the quarter, and the eighth notes. And the same thing applies to our rests as well. So today we'll be using the eighth rests. So just take a look in the book on page 9. You'll see right at the top, you'll see what the eighth rest looks like. And from what you remember, if an eighth note is half of a beat, so is an eighth rest, right? So when we're adding those in, it helps to count with the ends. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and would be your eighth notes. So when one of those notes is not there and it's a rest, then you just count through that. So I'll show you what I mean here. So for example, in the first song, the Hava Nagila, we just want to start slowly and we will clap the rhythm first. So you'll see the first measure has 2 quarter notes. So it's just 1, 2, and then the third beat, notice half of the beat, right, is an eighth rest. So we're not playing on 3, but we're playing on the end of the third beat. So it means we go 3 and we're playing on the end. So far we have 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3 and, right? So notice how the 3 we actually are not playing. And then finally we have 4 and, so it's two more eighth notes. So if I was to clap that, it'd be 1, 2, 3 and 4 and the same rhythm repeats for the next 2 measures also. So 3 measures, it's the same exact rhythm. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4, and I'm just gonna repeat it the same way every time. See if you can clap that with me. Let's do it together. We got 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and there it is. And then the last measure, you'll notice a quarter note, 2 eighths, and then a half. So there we're going to count it like this. We'll go 1, 2 and 3, 4, right? So the 3, 4 is the half note, right? Worth 2 beats. I'll do that again. 1, 2 and 3, 4. So now on to playing. So as soon as you figure out the rhythm, let's add those notes and play it slowly so that you can keep that same rhythm, right? So we're starting with the note E, right? So just we're playing low E string twice, so open, low E. And then we have the and 4 and part is the 4th fret, the 1st, and then the open again. So it's 4, 1, 0, just like that. So if we add that together with our rhythm, I'll count first. We got 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. So notice on the 3, I slightly turn my hand, kind of the wrist of my hand, just to mute the string, so that it could be a rest in there, right? So I'll do that again. So watch my right hand as I'm playing 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. I'll do that again. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and yeah, make sure you're playing the 4th fret. I played the 3rd there at some point. Just make sure it's the 4th with the pinky, and then you'll have that nice stretch. Just remember that your wrist will kind of move lower. It'll be easier to stretch. So then the next part, the next measure, we're coming back to that 4th fret right here, to the same note. So there we're playing that on the quarter notes. We got 1, 2, rest on 3, and then this part here will be 2 on the A, open A, and then back to the 4. So it's 2, 0, 4. At this point, I mean, I think I personally would switch to the 1st and the 3rd finger for those 2 frets, but it's up to you. You could stick to the 2nd and 4th, whatever feels more comfortable for you. So I'll add those 2 measures together. Here it is. At this point, we're going to go to an open A string. We'll play that twice as well, rest. And then this part here is a 3, 2, 0 on the tab as well, right? You'll see that seems 3, 2, 0, right? So 2nd finger on the 3rd fret, 1st finger on the 2nd, and then open, 3, 2, 0, all on the A. And then finally, here's our ending. We're going to go back to that first note, the 4, 1, 1, 0. So it's 1, 2, and 3, 4, and that's it, right? So to add that all slowly, here it is. There it is. So a little faster. It's definitely a fun little riff. I'm sure you've heard this one before too. So now on to the next song. This one's called Super Freak. It's a fun, like funky little riff by Rick James. And it has, it'll tell you that it both has the eighth and the quarter rest. So this one's a little bit more challenging for the rhythm. So we'll do the same thing we did with the previous one. We'll clap the rhythm first and then we'll add the notes to it. So we got a quarter note, 2 eighths, and then a quarter note. Notice the staccato as well, that dot under your note, right? So to start, we'll have 1, 2, and 3. And remember, you're gonna, that 3, you're gonna cut nice and short. 1, 2, and 3. And now 3 again is the staccato. And then 4 is the eighth rest, and then we're playing on the and. So 4 and. So we got 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. Right? 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. Right? Same almost thing happens again in the second half of the song. But now the second measure has a quarter note. 1, 2 is a rest, and we hit again. So 1, 2, and 3, rest on 4. Right? So I know it is pretty challenging. So just make sure that you're taking it slow. You always review what note you see in front of you, and then you'll know if it's worth 1 beat, if it's a quarter, or if it's half of a beat with the eighth note, right? So I'm gonna clap you the first 2 measures. Actually, I'll clap you the whole thing because it's the same rhythm in the second half. So we got 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. Now it's gonna sound a lot more familiar when I actually play it for you. So it sounds like this. So you probably know it more so by Can't Touch This. Yes, it's the exact same riff that they're using. So this one is a little bit easier in terms of you know, which notes you're playing. So it's only 2 frets, right? So the second and third, you could use whichever 2 fingers you want, 1 and 2, 2 and 3. And we're starting on the open D string, and then we have the A string. We got 3, 2, 0, and then we cut that one. So that part is the open low E, 3rd fret. And then we have 2, 0 on the A. So I'll add that. So 0, 3, 2, 0, 0, 3, 2, 0. The second half is almost identical except for one little spot in there. So the first phrase is the same. So da, 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 da. Now here, instead of playing the open E and the 3rd fret, the E, G, we're gonna play this note right here, the 2nd fret. So it's the B, G, just like that, and then the same ending. So I'm just gonna play this one for you 1 time slow and then 1 time fast, and we should be good to go. So here it is faster. So I hope you have fun playing these 2 songs at home, and I'll see you next week.